Okay, so what you can see on the screen is a My Classwork Jupyter notebook.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So guys, like yesterday we were discussing about socket programming, and this is what we have created. Small program which builds a socket. Here import socket imports the socket library, and I create a socket with a specific IPv4 version, protocol version, and TCP agent or application, and I will connect to a particular website which was created, and there I am trying to read a data called romeo.txt, and the data will be displayed on your screen. So yeah, let me give. Okay, yeah. So this was the program which was created, and this comes under while loop. So okay, so this seems to be better. And now if I run this program, if you carefully observe here, this is the output, which is this happens to be your communication information. Okay, the information with respect to the socket. You call it as a socket information, which will be displayed. You need not to write this on your examination because there are so many things. Okay, the date when you have tried to interact, and then see here this is showing in GMT time. So this is in some other time domain, and the date is 20th July, and server Apache, and this is just an information related to your communication what has just happened. Okay, and now this is the text which I am interested into. This was the text inside the Romeo.txt, and we just retrieved, and we should observe we have retrieved the data from this website. I visited this website, and I pass inside the text, and I have returned, and I displayed it as an output content on the screen. Okay, so now let us just try to import or retrieve the image using HTTP. So in this example, like retrieving text, so we retrieved a plain text file which had some new lines in the file, and we simply copied the data to the screen, right? So we just displayed the data which was there inside the text file onto the screen. So now we can use the same program, but to retrieve an image using an HTTP. So we will see how to retrieve an image over HTTP. So this was retrieving data. Likewise, you can try to get any type of information and try to display it on your screen using socket programming. Now I'll write the same program. I'll import socket, and I will import another method or another package called time. I'll tell you why I have imported it. I can also create the strings like host is equal to and port is equal to 80. This is just an what do you say, like an abbreviation or a string or a variable or an object which is created. I can use this as host and this as port. I'll just generalize it. Okay, so host is equal to and port is equal to 80, and now I'll be creating a socket. So you know how the socket has been created. So this is how I create the socket. And then I'm going to connect the socket. I'm going to make a connection to the socket with respect to the host. What is the host? Host is data.vr4.org, and port, there is some dedicated port 80 where I have some data, like I have some text messages. Let me just put this data onto this URL onto the screen. Is the screen visible, guys? Can you see the different types of
Yes, sir.
data present here? You have
Yes.
authors.txt, clown.txt, cover.jpg, cover3.jpg, and you have Romeo text, words text. Like, so I'm just trying to target to this particular, connect to this particular website host, and all this has got a specific port, right? Before you connect, and you can also see here. So this website is created using Apache Ubuntu or running on Ubuntu server at data.pr4e.org and in the port 80. So this is a dedicated server and a particular port has been created to save this data. So now I've connected to this socket and to the port 80. Okay, so I just made a connection here. Just made a connection to the server. Then I'll try to send. So can you see an image called cover3.jpg here? Now you could see this image called cover3.jpg. What is the file size? What is the file size? Hello?
Yes, sir.
What is the file size here? Guys having lunch and having breakfast
Sir, it's
and
very small.
now I have
Sir,
just
it's like,
blowing up. You can blow up your screen now as well.
yes, sir. Now it's visible.
225 kilobits, right? So I have
Yes, sir.
cover3.jpg, which is of file size 225 kilo, and now I'm going to make a send. See here, I'm going to send a binary. So this B is nothing but I'm going to get a binary data. So this entire string I'm going to encode in a binary string. So this will be encoded as a binary string. So get is a command. Go visit this host and then you find cover3.jpg, follow http 1.0 and /r/n. I told you what is the /r/n in the previous class. It's just like finding a new line. So finding a new line is nothing but it's an end of line or end of data. So I'll get this, I'll send this particular syntax. So this is my request to the host and cover3.jpg. So what is that you expect in return? What is that you're going to expect in return? Yes, what do you expect in return? I requested for a text file, content inside the text file, I got the contents, right? Now I am requesting for an image. What I will get as a request, as a response?
It will display the image.
No. I am talking in terms of communication system. See, I have requested, so the response will be in terms of some bits of data. Display and all these things that we will do later. First, we are receiving, right? So instead of copying the data to the screen as we did in your previous program, now what we do is we will accumulate the data in a string. Okay. See, in your previous example, we have received this information, right? We have received this information, socket information also. Here also we will receive all the socket information. The problem is this doesn't contain to an image. This information is not related to an image. So what we need to do, we have to trim off those headers and then save the image data to a file. Okay, so how do we do it? So initially we'll create a count. So I'll use this count is equal to 0 and picture is equal to binary. See here, picture is equal to B. It is representing a binary string. So I'll create an empty binary string and count is equal to 0. So before I save any values to this picture, understand, I will cut off the header. I will trim off the header and I will save the actual content of the data here into this picture. Only content of image. Only content of image will be saved, and trim of the header data, okay, will be saved. I'm just trying to put it in a short form. So I'll have only the picture data here, and I will trim off. Only content of image will be saved. Okay, trim off the header. Yeah, let me just try to rearrange this because it might create some kind of ambiguity if you're reading it. Trim off the header if any. Yeah, sounds good. Now I'll create while loop now because I started this. I'll assume that I'll be receiving, and it is true always. While true data is equal to my socket receive, I'm going to increment. Why? Because I'm dealing with an image, so I'll have 5120 bits of data. Understand, guys? 5120 bits of data I'm going to receive, and see and make sure this is in an encrypted form or a binary form. So now I'll check if the length of the data, if the length of the data is less than 1, break. Because if the length of the data is greater than 1, then I presume there is some information content inside that data which has been received. Then I will introduce, see here I have imported a time here, right? I have imported a time, so I will introduce a delay here. I will introduce a delay. Why? Because sometimes your program might take some amount of time to process the information. By that time, server will go ahead. The time response of the server will go ahead. So what I am trying to do, I am trying to delay my program itself in order to make sure the server is not receiving any, or my program is not receiving any data, so that it gets overlapped with my present data before getting processed. Again, it gets overlapped with the string. Right? So just in order to avoid that overlapping of the data, so I am trying to introduce the delay in the program. So the socket is received, whatever information is received will be in a buffer to be processed. So it will not have any overlap, a kind of a queuing system or a buffering system. I call this as a delay. Okay. I introduce 0.25 seconds of delay. And then I'll say count is equal to count plus length of data, just in order to have a count of data, how much number of bits have been, or how many amount of data I have received. I'll keep a count, okay? And then I say print. I'll use this print statement to display the length of the data and the count. Okay, the length of the data and the count. So what will happen? The length of the data, what you have received, and the count is nothing but it's an incremented value in each iteration. The data which is received will be the length of the data, and the count will be the incremented value after each iteration. So I'm just trying to make use of some print statement here, just in order to confirm what is the amount of data being received and what is the total data at that stage. It's the cumulative count. Okay. And I'm going to say picture is equal to picture plus data. Here I'm going to save, here I'm going to save values of data. I'm just trying to load the data here to this binary, empty binary string. I'll load this image data here, but understand it will be having the socket information also. We'll trim it off later. And then I'll close it. And then I'll close this. So what is this program? I've just created a socket. I connected this socket to a particular host and the port where I could find cover3.jpg, and I've just created some variables like count is equal to 0, picture is equal to b. So if you run this part of program, okay, you could find you could get some result like this. Okay. See here, every time I have received my internet speed is good. So it all depends upon your internet speed. So every time I have received 5120 packets. Okay. So lastly, you could see the last amount of data is 208. Can you see this, guys? So I had 23068. So what was the length? Can you see this? 225K is the length. the actual length of the data, but I've
Yes.
received 23K, right? 230K, but the actual length was 225K. So nearly 5 kilobits of data. It is header data. Okay, so it's a header data. So I have to trim it off. So how to find that header data now? So what is this picture? So what is there inside this picture? So you could say size of the picture or length of the picture. What do you say? Length of PIC, right? PICTURE. Again, I will display all the values, and finally we can see the length of the picture. So this is an iterative value. Sometimes you might see some different amount of data which has been received depending upon your internet speed. Okay, see here, 230608 is the length. So you have all the information, including socket information, including communication protocols, time, date of modified, everything, whatever is there inside that web page will be in terms of 100, nearly 5 kilobytes of data. Okay, so how to remove it? I mean to say, like, how to get rid of that header data. How to get rid of it? So I'm going to write a program. So look for the end of the header. So the first thing is I'm just going to find. I'll write this program first. So I'll look for the end of the header always. How do you look for the end of the header? If you have, okay. So if you find /rn/rn, so if you find this combination of two CRLF, okay, so I call this as CRLF, it's a line feed, okay, closed line feeds. So if I find this in your picture data, so what is picture data? The picture data is this much. So inside this data, if you find this /r/n, okay, so that is nothing but an header length. So I will just use the dot find operation here. I am doing just dot find method to find this string inside the binary string inside this picture. Okay, so that will give me a header length. And see here, print picture all values till POS dot decode. You guys understand? Picture dot POS dot decode. I have to decode, otherwise I cannot print. Okay, then skip past the header and save the picture data. I'll do what? I'll skip past everything here, skip past the header and save the picture data. So now the picture, you know, the picture data will start from position +4. Why? Because +4 is nothing but what? +4 is nothing but your two CRLF, these values 1, 2, 3 and 4. So these are the 4 positions, right? So these are 4 indexes. So POS +4 from here and all the values. Understand, guys? From here and all the values, save it. Save it as stuff.jpg. I will open an JPG file, stuff.jpg. I can have my own name here. Write binary. See, WB means write binary. fn.write picture. So whatever values that you're going to have it here, it is excluding the header. Why? Because I just found the header values here in POS, right? And it will be excluded here. +4, I repeat, +4 is nothing but 2 CRLF values, 2 + 2, 4 values. Okay, and F and close. See here, you have created, you have opened, and you have to close, and you have written JPG image. Let me just show you whether I have JPG. Okay, I'll just open the where this file is getting saved. Okay, can you see there is no what was the file name? Yeah, here stuff, right? So there was no stuff.jpg file here. Can you see? I just try to find stuff.jpg image here on this folder, and you can see 0 out of 0 count. That means I don't have JPG file with the name stuff.jpg. Now if I run this program, okay, now the stuff.jpg file will be created. So I'm receiving it, and I can suppress this result. I can just remove those print statements so that this will not be printed. Okay, now you could see where is that length. Yeah, this is a little mm, yeah, here content length, and image size, and you can see now I could have stuff image here which has been loaded onto this folder. Now I have loaded the stuff.jpg, but I wanted to display these things, right? Header length and these values. I'll just copy it and I'll paste it here outside so that header length is 394, and picture, okay, this will not be displayed. This will not be displayed. So I can see the header length. How much? Header length is 394. So 394 plus 4, 398, because you had two CRLF values. Okay. Yeah. So this is how I retrieve the image as the program runs. You can see that we get 5120. Why? Because we had fairly good internet connection to receive 5120 characters each time. But sometimes we might get 1460 or 2920, some random characters each time. So it should be up to 5120, which we had requested, in fact. And we can slow down our receive by, because sometimes there might be, sometimes the server can get ahead of us, and more data will be pumped into the program, so that might cause an overlapping of the data. So just in order to avoid that overlapping, we used to introduce the delay, and you call it as time.sleep method, which we have used to just in order to introduce a delay. Okay, and yeah, so this is a buffer between the server making send request and our application. Okay, and we call this time delay. Okay, we call this time delay as what you call, let me just like it's a flow control. I was just looking into, where is the slide? Yeah, here. So this is called as flow control. Okay, read it out. Oh, you wanted to see that image. So where is that image? What image that we have read? This is
Stuff.jpg.
yeah, stuff.jpg. Yeah, so this is an image which we have read. It's on the front page of Python for Everybody textbook. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this was the JPG image which we have read using this program.
Sir,
Yeah.
why can't you delete that data that, I mean, while extracting it from the website, we come across some data, right? Why can't you delete that data and just keep the image instead of storing it in a new name?
Because see, until we receive all the data, because here we have restricted the data to be received is 5120. Unless we receive all the data, this will not be created. See, this information will not be created. Because there
Okay.
might be the loss of data due to some loss in internet connection, and since you have used your TCP protocol agent here application, right? So it ensures 100%, right? So basically it operates on handshake procedure, so it ensures all the data to be received from the server, right? So
Yes,
here
sir.
I cannot trim the data, as in when I receive the data I cannot trim it, because once you have made the connection, so the data keeps coming, and once the connection is closed, then only we'll have this header information, and this header information is of some specific length. Okay, so this header information will have the length. You could see here I have the header length of 394. Okay, but plus 4, the plus 4 is nothing but your 398, that is 2 CRLF values. So this is nothing but 4 characters. Slash R is one character, slash N is another character, so I
Yes,
have
sir.
4 characters. So from here, so this is not required in fact here, but I want to decode. Why? Because all the values which I have received is in terms of a binary string. So I will decode this to print this header. And now you could see I am trying to remove, see here, picture is equal to picture. I am going to slice the values from this position to all the values of the picture. I hope you're familiar
Yes,
with this.
sir.
So now this is
Yes, sir.
398,
Yes, sir.
398 colon. That means in the picture data, read the values from 398 till all the values has been read, and that will be saved. And now I'll give this as picture is equal to, I'm going to write it as JPEG. See here, fn dot write is equal to picture. So
Okay.
and this write command will help you to create this JPG file. So this is done internally. You don't have to worry much about this. This is done at the ALL level. Right? So your processor
Okay.
will understand what kind of data it is and how to arrange this it in number of rows, how to arrange this in number of columns, because it will have the JPEG decoder information also. See, this 5120 also consists of JPEG decoder information. It is not only the
Yes, sir.
intensity values or pixel values, but also how many rows are there, how many columns are there. See here, see this information should be given by this JPEG, right? So .jpg enables that information to how to read and how to rearrange the data which has been stored in picture variable. So this is how it will be creating the picture or an intensity values. Okay. Yeah. So this is about how to read an images, and now we shall see how to retrieve web pages using URL lib function. This and now we shall just try to make things easier, a lot more easier. Why? Because we'll be using a function called URL lib. URL lib is a very useful function in most of the network programs. What does it do? We can manually send and receive data over HTTP using socket library, which we have done very recently. There is a much simpler way. Of course, like we will use URL lib, and using URL lib, you can treat a web page just like a file. Before you use URL lib, I have to import URL lib dot request. So this is a package, okay, or you can say this is a class, right, or a package. Okay. So I use URL lib, and things becomes very simple now. What I say f hand is equal to and is an instance and an object is equal to, I will take this URL lib dot request dot, okay, I have a method called URL open. Understand? In this method, I have another method called URL lib, URL open, and I just need to give the website address. That's it, and what you're looking for. Very simple. Now this entire URL file can be viewed as a file, a simple file, just like you had f and is equal to, okay, f open, right, some text file. You did it right in the previous, like in first or second module. So now this looks very simple. So this can be read it as a simple file. And now what I need to do for line in f hand, here. So I'll just print each line in f hand, but before I print, I have to decode it, right? I have to decode and use the strip to, or just to avoid unwanted spaces. Okay. Now if you just Put this on your screen, run this program. It's very simple. I have not created any socket here. I have not tried to remove any header or the socket information. There are a lot of information which was consisted inside this, the source which you have received, right? The source information content which you have received from the server. So nothing is displayed here. So this URL lib will take care on its own and will be displaying only the content. And it out here. So you have to remember this syntax. These constructors you need to remember. Can I try to see how many words are there inside? How many? Can I get the histogram of words here? I can extend this.
Yes, sir. Yes,
extend
sir.
this. I can create. Let me just copy this program, and I can create a count here. Count or dictionary, say is equal to dictionary. How to create an empty dictionary? I say DICT, and then since you have read it as a line, let me just try to make a comment here. Let me remove this. So now what is line? Line is an individual line. See here, line is an individual line. So can I say for can I just take this as words is equal to words is equal to line dot whatever, like whatever I've written here. Okay, so, and say print words. Let us see what happens if I say print words. And this is the same. So now I say print the length of words. See here, the first length of word is 48. I have 48 characters. The next is 36 character. So that means in every iteration, words is nothing but words in the line. So it's a list of words in the line, right? So what I do now, I just remove this. So now I'll just try to replace this for word in words. So what I do for word in words, what I need to do, I need to increment this dictionary, right, with its key value pair. So I say counts. How do I increment it? Counts of, right? Count of word, guys, equal to. I'll use the get function. Counts dot get word comma 0 plus 1, right? Is it okay? Counts of word is equal to counts dot get word comma 0. 0 is a default value. If it is no value here, so it will increment it by 1. If there is a value, it will get the word value, get the count value of that word, and it will increment by 1. And I just say print count. Get the result as oh my god, like 1 second. Print counts, right? Print counts. Yeah, here. So I got this, right? So individual characters I got, but what I need to do to find the word in, so if I want to find the word, individual word, BUT, SO, FT, individual word, what I need to do?
Sir, remove the for word in words loop, sir.
I see here, carefully observe, I have used strip here, right? I use strip here. You say split. Okay. So now if you say split and just print words, so you'll get words at each line. Now this is a list of words. Why? Because you have used split operation here. It was a split operation and here it was a strip operation. So that's the only difference. So be careful, guys. So I use dot split. So dot split gives me the list of words in each iteration. So I say word in words, and if you want to say strip here, and just what happens if I have strip here? Can you see this? I have the strip. So this is the line. So this looks like a line, but this you have a space here. So it is just like you have excluded all the additional spaces. but this is a complete content which was stripped. But you need to say SJBIT. You get in the first iteration, this is the words, list of words, and this is the second list of words. In second iteration, this is the list, third, fourth, and this is the dictionary which was created, which counts how many times or how many times a particular word has appeared. So which is the highest? Can I say which is the highest here? So and I think which is the highest. Can I ask you people, or can I give a small assignment here? Assignment to find the largest word and and can you find the largest word okay, let me just give you find the largest word in here. Do the same programming in Romeo full text. From the web page. Now don't read this Romeo hyphen full text which was there in your folder. Now you read it from the web page, from web page. And you know where the web page is? And here. Okay. Just try to do this. I just want you people to this part is already done, how to find the largest word in a given text file. Now the only thing is you need to read the text file from the web page. It's given as data.pr4org and find the largest word inside it. I just need to do some rearrangements here and do some comparisons and find the length, and if the length is greater, and then just try to display the word. Okay, to find and display. This is one assignment to find and display the largest word. And the second assignment you can also see maybe the second assignment would be assignment to find and display the word, the most frequent word. Okay, the most frequent word. The first assignment would be the largest word in Romeo full text, and the second is the most frequent word, like just say here in this situation, the is more frequently appearing, and Juliet yonder might be the largest here. Okay, here yonder is 6, here it is 6 through, yeah, this might be the largest word here. So two different type of activity that can be done visiting this website and reading the text file and try to get the largest word inside this text file. Also try to find the most frequent word which is used in Romeo full text. Okay, so this is all about today's class. If you have any doubt, just let me know.